more about what this stunning Republican victory means for the president and for Congress. Joining me from Washington, Cardona, a Democratic strategist, also Doug Heye, a Republican strategist. Doug, what a message. Change, change, change. I mean, the mood of Massachusetts, I'm curious what you have to say about this. I mean, this, adds a lot of fuel for the GOP party.
Absolutely, and it's not just Massachusetts. Earlier this week, Chris Christie was sworn in as governor of New Jersey. And, as a Frank Sinatra fan, I think of the great song New York, New York. And really for Republicans right now, we think if we can make it there in Massachusetts, in New Jersey, we can make it anywhere. There's no state in the union right now that Republicans don't feel that they can be competitive in. And if you're a Democrat who's vulnerable, say a Blanche Lincoln in Arkansas, a Michael Bennet in Colorado, this really sent a strong signal that your re-election's vulnerable.
Maria, what do you do if you're Coakley? How do you wake up in the morning and digest all this, and where do you go from here?
Well, I think for her, who has been, I think, a very good public servant in Massachusetts, and people recognize that, she had actually very high approval ratings, she'll continue to fight for the people of Massachusetts and for the working families of Massachusetts to make sure that the people understand where Democrats stand. She might have been doing it a little bit late, but I think that it's an important message not just for the Massachusetts party, but for the party nationally. We need to make a distinction that Republicans have historically stood on the side of the insurance companies, the fat cats on Wall Street, and the special interests, and Democrats have the ones who have been fighting for working class families, middle class families, and the values of Mr. and Mrs. Smith and Mr. and Mrs. Lopez on Main Street, and that's what we need to continue to do.
So, Doug, what's your take on the fact that the president went there, pushed for Coakley, made that trip? What kind of reflection does this have on President Barack Obama, his administration, where he's going, how he's dealing with health care?
Yeah, it's again, very Jersey, where he reversed course and went up and campaigned for John Corzine unsuccessfully at the very end. It sends a very clear signal that independents are not happy with the Obama agenda. They don't like the health care reform bill. They don't like the backroom deals that Nancy Pelosi and Harry Reid have negotiated. Harry Reid's another one who's got a really tough Senate race against Danny Tarkanian, the leading Republican in that race. It means that Barack Obama probably needs to sit back and, as he does the autopsy, the post-mortem, as Jim Acosta said earlier, try and figure out how to make the bipartisan rhetoric that was really a strong part of what President Obama was saying back in March and April of last year, as Kevin Madden noted today in the Wall Street Journal, to make that a reality, because it really has not been a reality in months and months.
Maria, I can just imagine what the Irish pubs were like last night in Boston, and thinking about just the Kennedy legacy. And wow, 40 years he was in that seat.
Sure, I think that it was a big shock for Democrats, not just in Massachusetts, but all over the country. I don't think it's going to do anything to diminish the Kennedy legacy, but I do think that it's going to give Democrats a shot in the arm in terms of, again, focusing like a laser on what it is that we really stand for and making sure that our message is communicated throughout the country on the fact that what has each party done? Which party was the one who actually was fiscally responsible, created 22 million jobs, and left office with record surpluses? Which party was the one who left office with $1.3 trillion deficit, losing jobs at the rate of 700,000 jobs a month? And which party handed his successor, President Obama, a dismal economy? We cannot turn this around in 12 months. Clearly, we have to make sure that we understand this anger and this anxiety and continue to communicate the message of change, which is frankly what brought us into power in 06 and in 08. We need to continue to focus on that message, and that Republicans are just the party of obstruction, the party of no solutions, and wanting this president to fail.
Well, you talk about focus and clarity. No doubt, Doug, the State of the Union address is coming up in a week. President Obama is going to have to really think about that speech, and Americans are going to be sitting back wanting to know, okay, what about health care?
Yeah, the president can sit back and look, and a lot of Democrats can look at pointing fingers and who's to blame. For the president, he needs to embrace this as an opportunity. The State of the Union is no better vehicle for him to do that, to say this is where we want to go and this is how I want to accomplish these goals. And again, he needs to do so and demonstrate that he's substantively doing so in a bipartisan fashion. We saw last year a lot of talk, a lot of Super Bowl parties and so forth that the president was doing, which was really nice window dressing, but there was no substance behind it. If the president put substance behind this, Republicans will respond. Healthcare is such a big crisis in this country right now. There's no Republican who doesn't want any kind of healthcare reform, and that's something that can, again, be an opportunity for the president. It's really up to him and other Democrats to see if they'll embrace it in that way, because independent voters clearly do not want more of the same.
You know,
final thought, Maria.
Kira, it's interesting because now with 41 votes in the Senate, the Republicans really are going to have to step up and help us govern and help us solve these incredible problems. And I think that it's going to be a big wake-up call for Republicans as well, because if they continue to be seen as a party of obstruction, you know, this is going to come back and haunt them. And Democrats are going to, again, be able to focus on the message that we're the ones who are fighting for working-class families.
Maria Cardona, Doug Heye. Thanks, guys.
Thank you very much.